for a contract, a lucrative contract to support his family in the future. And then he does deserve between 11 and 15 million because that's where his production says that he should be paid. NYG brought that up on his channel not too long ago. People like what's the boy from the Packers that went to the Jets? He's getting 14 million. He has better stats to him. Jerry Jeudy, similar stats. Never had 1,000-yard season himself. He got 19 or 18 million. So I do not blame Slayton for asking for what he's worth. Now that they gave him a little more incentive, which was basically nothing, is Darius Slayton going to come out and ball out this year, finally get 1,000 yards and go get a $20 million contract? Or is Hyatt going to beat him out on the field and get more reps? Instead of getting 10 to 15 reps, is Hyatt going to start getting the 20 reps to 25 reps? Is Hyatt's route running going to be on par with Slayton's? Well, who knows? But that's one thing of competition there. Then you got people like Trey Hawkins and Cordell Flat. They're competing. Dane Belton's competing to get some reps. So it's just up in the air. I mean, I wish we could have brought somebody in that could compete with Ojolari for that backup edge rusher role. That would have been great this year. And I told everybody Brightwell was going to be cut. I think that Tyrone Tracy guys might be the starter by the end of the season. But what you think about it, NYG?
Um, Man, shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Shout out to you, Lou. You know what I'm saying? But look, man, I've been watching the old New York Giants film, like the history of the Giants, just try, really digging into the culture. You know what I'm saying? Like before me, because obviously the Giants go back decades. You know what I'm saying? So this team has always had the makeup of being a defensive type of team.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, where they're going now, they recognize that. They recognize what they have to do to bring back Giants football. It's not about what the media wants or what certain fans want. It's about the culture of the team. And buying into that is a big deal. You know what I'm saying? And I think especially on defense now, the Giants got to figure their culture out on offense. And they've won offensively many different ways, with the running game, primarily, but they've also won with the passing game with Eli Manning in 2011. But it's always been led by the defense, a ferocious defense in the 50s, in the 30s, in the 20s, in the 80s, in the 90s when they won, and when they went to the championship Super Bowl in 2000. And then, of course, in 2007, it's always been led by defense. And that's what the Giants are building right now, man. So, competition, I'm excited to see it, man. But I think the Giants are building something special, man. Especially, man, if you get Dex, Kayvon Thibodeau, and Brian Burns, if you get them
On
for a
one
good
accord.
3 to 4 healthy seasons on the field together, it's something special gonna happen. I'm telling you.
My
That's how
thing
we've
is
been built. Go ahead.
my thing is as far as the culture, because I see where Alex is going. So I look at sustained success as a big thing and roster building specifically. And I know y'all talking about the culture stuff, which is part of the same pyramid scheme. I'm not even talking about the culture of the team yet. I'm just talking about the culture of competition right now. Before anything, before preseason, before pads, just right now, everybody knows it's 91, 92 players on the team, right? Got to cut it down to 53. And we brought in a lot of guys who have a lot of the same skills, a lot of guys at the same position groups. And they all know that there's only limited spots at those groups. So they have to put their best foot forward and outplay their homeboy, their roommate, their whatever, right? The guy that they've built a bond with and like and want to play the season with, they have to be better than him. And that culture of competition breeds more competition. Because now once you see like, okay, I'm better than these dudes, I wonder how I pair up against such and such. I wonder how I pair up against such and such from the other team, the star athlete on that team, the star athlete on that team. And it creates a hunger that it seemed like for a few years our Giants players have not had. There's been some games where you can see that they gave up by the third quarter. You can see that they just whiffed on tackles and blocks and and I don't want to see that no more. So I'm glad to see that there's been some veterans brought in, a lot of skilled players at the same position groups to create that competition to say, hey, we're not just going to give you this position because of your name or where you were drafted. You have to beat these guys out for this position. And I'm glad to see that because that's what we need to get back to. Beat the man in front of you.
That's a fact. It's gonna take time because we did so bad for so many years. When you're a bad team for 6 7 years in a row, it takes time to get out of that slump, to get out of that culture of losing. The culture of losing, that's a real thing. Like one thing could go bad and now everybody's like, oh man, here we go again. We're starting to get out of that a little bit. If it weren't for a lot of injuries last year, I don't think we would have had the season that we had last year. And to be honest with you, we were only a couple of breaks of going 9-8, and maybe getting into the playoffs last year after everything that happened. So that shows that a team that's going to fight. Nobody really gave up last season. Believe it or not, you can believe everything that you hear on Twitter, but that team did not give up last season. They fought in every game, and it was actually pissing those people off on Twitter because they were fighting and winning games that they didn't want the team to win so we could get this Trojan horse quarterback that they believe, this miracle quarterback. The team fought. They didn't give up on the coach. And I was proud of that because that shows that, hey, we do have a coach in the building that has a culture for this team. Even though we didn't have the players that we needed to go out there and win, all our major players were hurt. They still fought every game and wound up beating a playoff team with the Packers. Wound up being a 2 point conversion from beating a playoff team in the Rams, beating a playoff team in the Eagles, and competing. Shouldn't have lost to the Jets. Should have beat another playoff team in the Bills. So I was very excited last season because this team fought. NYG, back in the day, about 4 or 5 years ago, this team would have went one and something because they would have just gave up.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But you see
No
people like
facts.
Simmons that was playing hard. You seen Tommy DeVito play hard, Tyrod Taylor play hard. The offensive line progressively got better throughout the season, which allowed us to throw the ball deep to Hyatt, Slayton. Wandale Robinson started to come into his own going down the stretch of the season. The defense balled out, was averaging almost 3 turnovers a game during the stretch of the season. Even with Wink and Dabo beefing, they still played their hearts out and played some of the best defense in the league the last 8 weeks. So you got to look at the team as a whole, man. You can't just wish for a certain player like they're just going to save your franchise. It don't work like that. You got to have a culture in place, man. But what do you think about the culture in the building, NYG?
Man, I like the culture that they are building because you have to understand now there's no so-called leader on offense. Yeah, Malik Neighbors is expected to be that, but again, it's more even. There's no like Saquon Barkley. There's no Odell Beckham Jr. here right now. So what this allows, it allows your team to grow together. You know what I'm saying? Because they're all on even kill right now. You don't have nobody that's supposed to be the superstar, the X factor, or whatever that everybody's supposed to. Oh yeah, this is the guy. So on and so forth. Everybody's on even footing right now in this Giants on this offense, just particularly the offense. So I think that yeah, it allows your team to grow. It allows your team to grow as a unit because all these Giants
What up,
championships
man?
that they won, they've always had players that were, I don't want to say outcasts, but just it's never really been like this big time superstar outside of Lawrence Taylor. He's like the only one. You know what I'm saying? And it's just been a team effort. And I think they're getting back to the team effort to where there's no, so-called alpha, as they say out here. You know what I'm saying? In the room, it's just a group of guys that's trying to prove that they want to that they
Cool,
belong
man.
in this league. You know what I mean? So I think that's important. And it allows Brian Dable to so-called have control of the locker room.
Taj.
What's going on, Taj? Well, I have a little subject that I want to talk about. NYG may not like this subject. Uh, the offensive line coach and Brian Dable have come up to the conclusion that Evan Neal is going to be the starter at right tackle no matter what. So he's not going to have any competition at the right tackle position this year, and they're going to decide if light skinned Jermaine is either going to play right guard or left guard. But they have probably our best interior lineman and John Runyon Jr. at the right guard position. But basically, by what they're saying, there will be no competition for Evan Neal at the right tackle position. So the only way he's going to lose it if he's just either hurt or he's just completely awful. I mean, how do you feel about them coming out there and saying that in so many words so early?
I think they're rolling the dice. I think Shane and Dable are betting on their draft picks. They're betting on their scouting department. They're betting on themselves to say, look, we
They
got
can't
this
come
right with
out
this
there.
guy.
Yeah. They
That's
can't come
that's
out
the
there and say we messed up. He sucks. They can't
Yeah,
do that. They got
and that's what they're doing. That's why they're doubling down on it. I mean, and it's dangerous. It's a gamble. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I would play it safe, and my plan. But look, it's nothing I could do about it, so I'm not gonna piss and moan about it. But do I agree with this decision? No, but they have a right to do it. They drafted the guy, so you doubling down on what you think is somebody that's going to hold down the right tackle spot, for years to come for the New York Giants. That's what you're doing. And to not have any competition is like, okay, you got a guy coming off an injury. Why wouldn't you have any competition for him? You don't know what he's going to look like. Unless you got some inside information that we don't know, and you've seen Evan Neal, behind the scenes, blocking NFL caliber edge rushers.
hey, hopefully Brasilio fixed what Bobby Johnson failed to teach. Maybe they see in these guys way more than
Bro,
we are. We see
they
little
just
clips here and there. They're there
barely
with them running
got
drills, and
in training
so
camp though. That's what I'm saying. They
maybe
just barely got in
hopefully
training camp.
hopefully they're not doubling down and they just see something that we haven't seen yet. And hopefully Brasilio fixed all of the little woes that were causing us to want to throw up, and we can get this ship righted and
I would
bring
say
home
this,
that
Lou.
chip.
If Evan Neal is just decent, just be decent.
It'll be
Like
a big difference. Yeah.
yeah, he can't stink. Like the expectation is not for him to be some all pro right tackle. That's not what we're talking about here. We're just talking about be decent.
Yeah,
Don't
be solid.
you
Just
know
be
what I'm
solid.
saying? That's it. So the bar's not that high. So I hope he can do it, man. But for them to just kind of come out and say it, I don't know. Maybe they coming at the media in a sense. They just want them to shut up about it. But I don't know.
I
I
don't
don't know
listen
why
to
you would do
PFF, coach.
that.
I don't even like using a mock draft simulator. So yeah, I can give a damn about PFF's rankings on us or grades on us. They made me low IQ reporters they got over there. Ain't nobody worry about them. We're going back to the basics. Facts, eh? Hit that like button. Word. Tied with B more last year. Ghost Dog says that speaks volumes for them to come out and say that. Red Fox. Which undrafted free agent defensive lineman has the best shot at the roster? Rogers has the size on Chapman, but I heard Elijah is taking some snaps at fullback. 6 foot, 278 pounds is a load. Pause. And could be the thumper we need. Pause. All right. Okay, Red Fox. Either Neil has showed massive improvements, or they're gonna let him play himself onto the bench. Okay, cool. Mr. Zoe, yo fellas, what up? What up, Zoe? Tyrone Hall. My take is if the coach good with him, I'm good. I'm a fan, now a pro. Just saying. Oh, not a pro. I'm just saying. Okay, I got you. Appreciate that, Mr. Hall. Every free agent comes to the Giants, they suck. When Giants players leave, they are pro bowlers before they even take a snap on another team.
Yeah, if
Yeah,
you listen to
that's kind of
Twitter,
true, Vinny G, man. I think Bachelia
Nah,
will bring the best out of
it's
Neil. I hope so, Ghost Dog.
it's not true at all.
many
Bachelia
Giants
did the
players.
most
There's
with
been
the less
Giants
over at the
legends
Raiders.
like Steve Smith and Victor Cruz that went on to other teams that never did anything. Like it doesn't work that way all the time.
Victor Cruz didn't go nowhere else.
Yeah, he
He
did. He
went to
went
the
to the
Bears.
Bears.
Yeah, for they practice, he went to their practice squad and didn't even make it to the
I'm just
season.
saying
He left and went to
he
another team
left.
though.
But
The
that was under
our
McAdoo.
Steve Smith left and
McAdoo
went to
didn't
the
want
Eagles
that.
and didn't do anything.
Yeah, he didn't.
McAdoo didn't. He forced Cruz out the league. He didn't want them passing him the ball. PFF be on some bullshit sometimes, all the time, in my opinion. Did you see the PFF rankings? Jesus Christ! Everybody with
Oh
the
yeah, I
PFF.
seen that. I just watched that Wallow music video.
Oh
Saquon
my
top 10
goodness.
cemetery at
Oh
30.
man, it's
Yo, what's going
tough.
on,
Done.
yo?
What's
What's
up,
up,
What's
Taj?
Ty?
good, Taj?
Yeah, Waller might be done, man.
He's finished.
Oh, yeah, Darren Waller, yeah.
Yeah, he got a video out. He laying in the water face first, letting the water hit his face, and all that. Like, man, come on, bro. You got enough time to make music videos, but you can't tell us if you're gonna play or not.
Listen, that he hit it. He got him some, and that shit made him sweat, made him holler. He had to put his face in the water. You gotta
Hey,
be hitting it. Ooh wee.
hey, don't let all this distract you that that Luca and the Mavs is giving the Wolves that belt.
Yeah, yeah, they be giving them that belt for the beginning of the game.
Say it again, coach. Say it again, coach.
Coach. It's
Yeah,
good,
that's
coach.
what it's looking like.
Aaron Bruce don't got you pussy what? You need to reverse it. Whoop that foot. Bang, 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 bang,
Right,
bang.
pops, another legend. Oh, may he rest in
Yes,
peace,
Peace,
John
man.
Witherspoon.
yes.
That dude was funny as hell.
Facts.
So put some hot sauce on my burrito, baby.
Right.
Yeah, I saw some burrito, baby.
Move. I gotta take a shit.
You're gonna want to go in there in about 35, 45 minutes.
Laying there like a broke dick dog.
PPE.
Yee-tee-tee.
Todd, what you think about all the competition that the Giants have brought in and all these position groups and the veteran guys that they've brought in to try to bring some of these rookies up to speed? Do you think that there's a culture of competition being created here, or do you think it's just the same old we're seeing from the Giants? What do you think?
Uh, hmm. I don't know how to put it out, but like, it's looking like the way like I'm looking at these tweets and these pictures and stuff like from the Giants, the videos and stuff. As I see Steve Smith with Jalen Hyde and Malik Neighbors, you know what I'm saying? Like it looks like they doing all those guys are doing a very good job. In there, no drama whatsoever, and the competition uh on that I'm gonna have to see how it goes for the preseason and the regular season because I'm just the guy that just has to wait and see. So yeah, that's how I'm gonna put it out.
Okay, so he said he ain't jumping out the window with me this year on my 11-6 shit. I understand, Taj. I understand. You've had your heart broken a few times. I get it. Like, all of these are therapists, not a football team, says Darren Gordon. Ghost
Yeah,
dog.
that,
Every time I go in the kitchen, you are here eating up all the food, all the chitlins, all the hog maw.
Yeah. Oh
I want
man.
some of them chitlins. I want some of them hog maws.
Yeah. I want
I
some
like
pig
pig feet.
feet. Yeah.
Hey, what are you doing? You better put some water on that shit.
Oh man. Oh, but you know, at the end of the day, all I've heard is negativity. People upset we didn't get a quarterback. People upset that we got neighbors that didn't trade back. People upset that we didn't trade up. I'm like,
DJ will be QB1 no matter what this
facts.
season, so don't even
And with
matter.
with all of the energy you spending on being mad,
But he still got to prove something though. That's you know what I'm saying. That's all.
no, I'm with you. I said it. It mathematically did not make sense. And this is a business at the end of the day. They're not going to spend 210 million in free agency in a weekend, have a quarterback who signed to 160 million, and go give up two or three of your six picks to move up and get a quarterback. It's mathematically stupid. So I knew. I'm like, yeah, DJ's going to be our quarterback. We're not drafting a quarterback. We're getting a wide receiver. That's the first thing I said. Then I started saying Malik Neighbors, but at first I was like, we getting a weapon. DJ's gonna be our quarterback. Because mathematically, there's no way they was gonna move on from him and go get a second overall or third overall pick who's guaranteed 40 mil a year when you have a quarterback under contract for 160 mil.
Right.
But nobody wanted to listen to math or logic. They just wanted their feelings to kick in. Well, I feel. Well, I want.
Mm-hmm.
Who cares? One hand is shit in the other, and see which one gets filled first.
Right. That's all they care. Oh, you want a quarterback? I want someone that the media loves, because that's all it's about. It's just about having somebody that the media loves, the media hypes up, and you can say, "Look at us, we have him." Same thing that it was with Saquon Barkley. Same thing it was with Odell Beckham before him.
And
Just
that's why we
somebody that
never
is
win.
just a flash. Yeah, they just want
Yeah.
flash.
And I understood the Barkley pick. He was trying to give Eli a spark. You know what I'm saying? But they didn't fix the O line, and that was the real problem.
Yeah, we stopped making the ugly picks. You remember years and years we had Strahan and Tolliston and all those guys. Then we drafted OC to bring in with Strahan. Then we drafted
So
Justin Tuck. Then we drafted Cofield. We drafted Linville Joseph. We drafted
Pierre Paul.
Kiwanuka. Yeah, JPP. Everybody said that's one of the dumbest picks of that draft when we drafted JPP in the first round out of South Florida. And then I was like, well, we've always won with edge rushers.
Yeah.
So why would that be a stupid pick? But in that year, we had Human Ure, Tug, JPP, Kiwanuka was still on the team, Linville Joseph. It was like we had all defensive linemen to keep coming at you all game long. We had like a
You
rotation
had
of
guys
eight
like
defensive
Jesse
linemen.
Hamilton
Them
and
Yeah,
motherfuckers thrive
Jesse
off
Armstead and
negativity,
Keith
BG, man.
Hamilton in the 2000s when they went to
yeah,
the Super Bowl. People forget
yeah.
that the Giants had the New York Giants, man. Yeah, I got something for y'all for trivia, man. But the New York Giants have been very, very good, man. For a long time, especially in the 90s, man. People forget that they went to that Super Bowl and they was good in 93, 97. Like,
Yeah,
they had real good seasons, man. It's always been led by their defense. Always. Every single time.
yeah. Because when we made the Super Bowl with Jeff Hostetler, when Phil Simms got hurt, it was the defense. Phil
I
Simms'
mean,
first Super Bowl, it was the defense.
dogs, even in the
Kerry Collins,
50s, even in
yeah,
the 40s, the
defense.
30s.
It was defense, and it
Yeah, they
seems
had
like,
in Emet in Little Tunnel. They had
yeah,
Sam Cal Hubbard.
yep.
You know,
It's like we've
Sam
always been led
Huff.
by our defense.
Mm-hmm.
How did we make the playoffs in 2016? The defense.
Yeah.
We would get one play by Odell Beckham, and the defense would hold the team to 10 points. We beat the
Mm-hmm.
Cowboys one year, 10-7. You know what I'm saying? So it's I don't know, man. It's like that's why I always question: are you dudes real Giants fans? Because real Giants fans know the defense has always been the focal point. And what I mean by the defense has always been the trenches, the defensive line. And thank you, Joe Shane, for getting us Brian Burns. You know, we still got
Yeah,
Ojolari.
we had some good corners too, man.
Yeah. I mean, we had
But yeah,
Seahorn in his prime. Corey
yeah,
Webster was
we
pretty
had the
good.
2016. That was led by the cornerbacks. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
DRC,
Yep.
Rogers Cromartie, and
Mm-hmm.
who was what was the dude he got beat up by Steve Smith? Janoris
Oh
Jenkins.
yes.
I remember Felipe Sparks. When we had Will,
Yep.
we
Sam
had
Hurst, Felipe Sparks.
yep, we had Will Peterson and what was the other guy? Will Allen
Will
and Will
Allen, yeah.
Peterson
Will Allen, yep.
at one point. Then we had Sam Madison. Then we drafted
I
Aaron
agree with you, TP.
Ross. And then we
You got a lot
drafted
better
Prince
than
of
people are
Mukamara.
saying.
You know,
JP.
so we've had some
Yep.
DBs.
Had Kenny Phillips.
Yeah, Kenny
We've had
Phillips,
a lot of good
Eugene
safeties.
Wilson.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ward. We've had Artrell Rowe. Can't forget about
Mm-hmm.
him. Yeah,
Beast.
we've had some decent secondaries too, but that just goes to show you defense,
Yeah. It's always been the
defense.
defense.
But everybody
Always.
now, you ain't gotta get the big blue crew. Y'all so old and stupid. You gotta get with the times, man. And we gotta put up 30 points, 30 points, 30 points. Man,
No, we just got to
what?
stop them from scoring 15.
Yeah, there's only been like one team that's averaged 30 points in the past 4 seasons, bro.
You keep
Everybody
most teams under
back
15
points.
points, you win most of them games.
Right.
Period.
The object of the damn game is to stop the other team from scoring. God dog it, not just outscore everybody. That's why Patrick Mahomes is ruling. You too busy trying to outscore Patrick Mahomes instead of beating Patrick Mahomes.
Yep.
Every time the Giants made a Super Bowl run, we were underdogs and hated on, except for 2008. They jinxed us for real, for real.
And the Giants have always beaten the better offensive teams. Back in the '80s, they beat Montana. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? And of course they beat
John
Tom
Elway.
Brady.
We beat
Yep.
John Elway.
They
John
beat
Elway.
Elway. Yeah.
All we need to do is go eight
They
and
beat
eight or better
Buffalo and and,
and
and,
shut
and
up the
that's in that
doubters.
joint.
I'm invested, win or lose. I got over 1 grand in New York Giants varsity jackets from leather to wool, fan for life, good or bad. Damn right, Tyrone Hall.
Facts.
Same here. Fan for life, don't matter. Antrell Rowe, yep. Dean Grant,
Mm-hmm.
Mark Collins, yep.
I mean, Landon Collins was good for a couple of years. He was all pro a year
Yeah.
in one year. He actually played pretty good until it was time to pay him. They was like,
No
nope.
beef. Shit, man, I'm gonna get that shit out my locker room. Crazy.
Yeah.
Boy,
But
it's crazy.
it's like I think we're trying to
The
get back
Giants
to our
had a
roots.
safety by the name of Chad Jones that probably would
Yep.
have been one of the better safeties we've ever drafted if he hadn't have got hurt.
Yep. Chad Jones is gonna be a
Never
monster.
played, yeah. Never played a snap.
And he got hurt just like the Wilson kid, the running back. He got hurt
David Wilson.
after
David
yeah.
Wilson.
David Wilson was a monster, bro. He'd have been a
Yeah.
Hall of Famer.
That dude was so fast, bro. I remember watching him at Virginia Tech when we got him. I was like, oh yeah. And then
And he had the ability to cut and juke, but he hit the
man,
hole so fast that he didn't need to. Pause.
man, he was like Joe Morris with speed boosters on. I promise you, that dude was gonna be
And that's
cold.
another thing the Giants have always had, Pat, was a running game.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
always had a
we've
vicious
gotten away
running
from the
game.
running game. And I mean, if you want to talk about it, let's talk about it. Do you think we're getting away from the running game? Still, I know we drafted Tyrone Tracy, but is he the guy that you can get a ball and have him carry it,
Yeah.
carry us to victory? I know Singletary, he's not like that, to be honest with you. Is Tracy like that? I don't know. Is Eric Gray like that? We have to we have to find out.
I think we have a running back strictly for the purpose of like 10 carries per game.
Committee, running back committee.
I think that the New York Giants run game will be very minimal.
Is that a
Honestly.
mistake though?
Yes. That is the whole element of the game that you're reducing to nothing.
I think
That's
the Giants
that
have.
gives your wide receivers breathers. That gives your linemen a time to set and take a breather. Like all of that, all of it matters. It is a game of inches for a reason. You got to have a run game. To try to make the run game obsolete, you're gonna wear your guys out and be completely fatigued by the fourth quarter or the end of the third quarter.
When the Giants have been good, we've always had a running back by committee. Go back to Tiki Barber and Ron Dane, and then you thinking about Jacobs and Bradshaw. Then you thinking about Ward and Jacobs. In those seasons. The Giants have always been good. Dave Meggett, Tyrone Wheatley, like we've always had
Mm-hmm.
running back by committees. But the problem is it's the philosophy of the coach. Like, is Brian Dable really willing to adapt and get away from this Buffalo pass happy offense that him and Kafka want to implement and really build on the trenches and to again the strength of your offensive line primarily, particularly with Evan Neal, is running the football.
That
So
yeah,
if
that's a fact, NYG. But go, my bad. Go ahead.
Nah, because if you want to get your offensive line men, going, so to speak, you
Pause.
gotta run the football. And what Evan Neal was good at is running the football. So at least commit to the run early in football games so that you get your linemen some confidence, and then maybe they play better in the pass game.
This is the best way I can explain it. This is the best metaphor I can give. In boxing, you have what's called a feint, right? A feint, like when a woman faints.
Mm-hmm.
A feint is you give the look, like you're gonna, like it's a flinch almost, like you give a little move, a little gesture, like you're gonna throw something, to gauge the reaction. And you do that with a couple different maneuvers, right? And you kind of get a sense of what his defensive skill set is or what his go-to move is. So then you can set him up with that feint. The run game is similar to that. You wear him down, you get him tired, you get him thinking run, run, run. Then you mix in the pass or you mix in the play action. It set things up for you. If you don't use it, you're tying one hand behind your back, basically.
Right. Basically, why Lou, we can't pick up third and inches, third and one, fourth and one. And we lose drives because of that bull crap. And I don't know how many times NYG we were calling games last year, and I wanted to flip my desk because we couldn't get a third and one.
Mm-hmm.
And I do believe we're still going to be in trouble of getting that this season, maybe even more this year. Um, I say this, man. The running game, in my opinion, breaks the will of a team if you can run the ball on them and they can't do anything about it. It breaks the will of the defense. It really changes the game, bro. And we got to get back to that, man. And that's the only gripe I have with this regime. As long as this regime is here, I don't ever think we will ever have a running game like we used to have. So we're gonna have to figure out a way to play this quote unquote, like Alex and everybody tell us we need to get with the times, quote unquote, as a passing league. It's
Tell
gonna
me,
be a hard
Alex.
adjustment, but we're gonna have to do it because that's the way they're building it.
Say it ain't so, Alex. Say it ain't so.
What's good
I
with
think
you,
it comes
Alex?
down to multiple things. Let's go with y'all. I think it comes
What's
down to multiple things. I still believe, in contrast to your all's thoughts, I definitely do think you need a running game. I definitely think the Giants have lacked that presence for a couple of years now. And, I think, sometimes, yeah, they might miss Saquon Barkley on the field. But again, it comes down to a lot of different things. I feel like for the last few years, whether it's the O line or the quarterback play in general, I think that defenses have not been able to respect us. And I feel like most of 2022, and this is no diss towards the quarterback. I'm not opening up that can of worms, but like I felt that probably until the Lions game, they were predominantly a running team because the Texans, right? They ran the ball. I wouldn't say efficiently, but they
I
did it
predicted
enough.
that before the season, by the way. I said our
Yeah,
first 6 to 8 weeks we would be predominantly a run team.
because we had to
Right.
protect the quarterback because he didn't have the offensive line and the weapons. Yeah, we did say that. And guess what? We went to the damn playoffs when we were running the ball. Just
Yep.
saying. I'll be right back.
Continue.
Yeah. I
It
mean,
all makes sense.
you did have a mixture of that in that Vikings game. You did have a mixture of, passing for over 300 yards and uh what was I going to say? Running cuz Saquon ran the first touchdown in. But I think it's not just, committing to the run and stuff like that. As I said, I kind of have a different philosophy slightly than y'all. I still think it's sort of a passing thing, and we'll see what happens this season because do I think Singletary is a downgrade? Yes, but it just shows a shift of like where this philosophy is headed more towards the passing game, and the Giants will be in trouble if let's just say they start out the season they want to be this passing team. They want to be this passing team, and it's not working. And then they try to run the ball with Singletary as a bell cow, and it just doesn't work. So they need to be able to commit to their philosophy, whether it's just having certain guys on the field, a game plan, stuff like that. I don't remember what the article specifically said, but when all that shit was coming out last year about Dabes and Kafka arguing, I
Yeah.
forget who was more leaning towards the running game, and Dave was like very unhappy or something like that. I forget who was more leaning towards the running game. As I said, I can't remember at this moment, but we'll see throughout the first few weeks of the year. Again, I think it's definitely they want to be a more
I think it
pass
was
happy
Wink.
offense.
I think it was Wink saying run the damn ball on the sidelines to Dable.
No. I'm not referring to
Nah,
that.
yeah.
There was I know what you're talking about, Lou, but there was a separate instance where Dable would overhaul or try to just like interfere with the play calling that Kafka was doing from the booth, and Joe Shane had to sit and basically like monitor them.
I think Kafka
It
wants
might
to run the ball more. I think it's Kafka.
Nah, because he was
see.
the
Look at how he
for
called the
Kansas City.
game in the
But he was
East
a
West
pass
Shrine.
play specialist for Kansas City before we brought
I
him over
know,
here.
but
So
look at how he play call in the East West Shrine game when he got to actually call plays. He called a lot of running plays,
I
and they
wanted to get
look
Cooper
very
Brady over here as
similar
well,
to what the
man.
Giants were calling. I'm just saying, take a deeper look.
King
Yeah.
Jers. Man, King Jers don't fuck with the kid no more. What I do to you, Jers? Damn, son. You know what I'm saying? Word the mother, son. They get brand new when they move, man. You know what I mean? Vinny G, man, Big Pat. I watched the video on Corbin breaking dudes, laughing, and we got Turbo, also the kid we drafted that was a receiver, sick weapons, bro.
Yeah, shout out to Tony, his Deshaun's cousin, who I happen to keep in contact with.
He said, "What now?"
No, I know Deshaun Corbin's cousin.
Oh, I was like,
They have
"What?
a
You know
training.
Joe Shane's cousin?"
Yeah,
I was like, "Talk
yeah.
some sense."
I'm not in that deep.
Like, Joe Shane's cousin. Tell that motherfucker put Neil in guard. No, let me stop. No, I mean, I hope they do see something that we don't see by coming out and saying that Neil will be their right tackle. I hope that Brasilio has made him improve by leaps and bounds and taught him what apparently Bobby Johnson wasn't. And maybe they've seen something that has given them the confidence to come out here and be like, no, Neil is the guy.
Yeah.
Uh, you
I
know,
think it's just going to be a variable of variables of epic proportions because if Neil struggles, well, first of all, what I think is, and I said this when NYG was doing his giant conversation thing, that they probably put Runyon on his side because he's the better pass blocker. I don't think he's the better overall lineman because Illuminor is kind of balanced, but I think Runyon is the better pass blocker, and that's what they need Neil to get better at. Um, but you have that. I think he's a guy that's make or break. Daniel Jones is obviously make or break. You know, Dabes could be make or break depending on how this year turns out. Slayton could be. So, I mean, there's just a lot of variables that really go into this equation, and it's really again geared towards the passing offense, but just everything in general. Because if Neil sucks, then they move him inside, and I mean I know that NYG was going off about just move Neil inside. I do get the sense of like, okay, you gotta try him out during mini camps and OTAs and stuff like that. But I feel like in a crucial year like this, you can't experiment mid-year if he sucks at right tackle. You got to just throw him in at guard. That's why the preseason games are so crucial. And my 2-second tangent that the NFL is stupid and is continuing to get rid of preseason games, but no, that's another thing.
okay. Now, let me ask you this, going in a slightly different direction here.
Sure.
I've been saying for a while now that I believe Bellinger is going to have a big year. I think he is going to be, considering that him and Slayton have the most familiarity and continuity with him, with DJ on this team,
Yeah.
is Bellinger and Slayton. Um, if Waller's gone, which I believe he is, right?
Yeah.
Theo
After today,
Johnson,
he's definitely gone.
Theo Johnson is a rookie. He don't have that much rapport with him. So Bellinger and Slayton are his most secure guys who he has the most rapport with. So
Yeah.
I
Continuity.
believe that Bellinger will have a breakout year because all eyes will be on Neighbors, Hyatt, and Robinson or Slayton. So I believe Bellinger is going to be Daniel Jones' security blanket this year.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he should be. I don't want him, and neither do any of us want him in a scenario like last year where he's forced to block rather than catch.
Right,
But
man. That shit pisses me. Oh, we
I
gotta
hated
have
I hated that crap when he's
man.
sitting there protecting Neil and he's giving up sacks to Bosa, which he's not even supposed to be in that position. It's just nonsense. I mean, when you run block, you use him. That's obvious, but I mean, just that I hated that. And Bellinger is one of my favorite players on the team, but the addition of Neighbors and the quick passing game, and then Wandale. I think he had a very sleeper type season because he was one of the best in separation. You have him on the offense. Just imagine, I mean, this is kind of fanboying out a little bit, but if you have him and Tyrone Tracy on the same field and they're basically a similar type of player because they're both hybrids, that could be scary.
And that undrafted receiver that we got as well. I did a video about him. He had 1,080 yards, um, 13 touchdowns. He went undrafted. We got him. We picked him up. I forgot his name. I did a whole video about it about a month ago. But I think he has a shot of making this team as well. So we got a wide receiver core that DBs are going to be focused on, and Bellinger can kind of sneak through the cracks and be open a lot.
Yeah. Let's
Hold
see.
on, I got to get to a ninja watcher over here. King Jers, welcome back, Mr. Ninja Watcher. My boy bounced and was watching from the Shadow Realm and then came back. Now, what's going on? Thank you. I appreciate it, Jers.
Yeah, he's a member of my team too, man.
Nah, yeah,
Thank you, King Jers.
he been a member for the longest, but I ain't seen him in the chats in a minute. I didn't even know he wasn't a member no more. I just know I hadn't seen his name in my chat for a minute. Just thought about it. Don't they have to decide if they're picking up Neil's fifth-year option after this season?
No, it's after next season.
Yeah, it's after next season. Yeah.
because this is his third year. So next year would be his fourth. They have to decide that year if they're going to pick up his fifth year option.
I think Tyrone Tracy going to help catching passes out the backfield.
Facts.
Hey guys, I believe it will be Dable's last year with the Giants if the Giants lose, especially if Bill Belichick says he wants to coach the Giants.
I
Yeah,
think we have to have a disaster of a season, but that possibility is out there.
you just have to be. I mean, I don't want a losing season. We all don't, but if you're competitive, at least you're competitive, and you have like a solid games down the stretch, and you just say, okay, then you could preach patience. But I mean, if you do have a disaster of a season, then you'd probably bring in uh Belichick, and then that would probably warrant Dak Prescott, and that's a whole other conspiracy and
I don't
whole
think
other
this
conversation.
team wants Dak Prescott in
I
any
don't either.
sort of
Man,
imagination.
hell no.
No,
Like,
I
come
trust
on,
me.
man.
I'm just throwing it out there as a possibility. As I said, I don't want it to happen, but Belichick is not going to be a guy who's going to want to sit here and and want to rebuild a program at 71, 72 years old. He's
He's
going
not.
to want
Yeah,
his own guys and want
he's
to win
not
now.
I
coming.
don't even want a
He's
head
not.
coach that old. Sorry, not to
Belichick's
sound
not
mean,
coming
but
here. People need to let that shit go, man. We don't look, man. The
I don't
Giants.
I don't want that nigga either.
yo, tell him why you mad, NYG. Nah, fuck that, son. Tell him why you mad, son.
Nah, I'm not mad. I'm just saying the Giants has a in history they really don't do that. You know
Nah, fuck it.
they
I'm gonna tell
find
him why I'm mad, son. I'm gonna tell him why I'm mad. I'm tired of these motherfuckers trying to bring all these old geriatric coaches over here that done retired already. You know what I'm saying? Every time a coach leaves somewhere, yeah, yeah, bring him over here. Bring him over here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the nigga ain't won shit where he was at. You know what I'm saying? Ever since Tom Brady left, that man ain't won shit. Y'all want to bring him over here so we can lose some more shit. That's why I'm mad. Stop talking about that old motherfucker. Let him go play golf. You know what I'm saying?
It's more about another name. It's more about Flash again.
that's it.
That's it.
That's yeah, no, listen, I totally agree, but there is that cloud that would hover over Dable because if Giants fans are mad enough, again, depending on the season, so we don't even know what's going to go on.
Yo, cool, man. Here to
That
rub
John
it in.
Mara would
Welcome back.
come in and say, "Boom, this is a name," and go from there rather than just go out and get another guy.
Yeah, I mean, like I will say this: the Giants are going to have to make some decisions, which they have been, that the fans are not going to like. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes that happens, and you start to win because you're doing what is necessary for your franchise. You're not just trying to kowtow to a fan base. Oh, draft a quarterback, draft a quarterback. That's what the Jets have
Let's
done over
go.
the years. That's what the Browns have done over the years. That's what the Bengals did over the years. They kept drafting quarterback after quarterback because, hey, the quarterback is the end all be all. And guess what? They
Time out.
keep getting killed.
Time out, folks. Hey, everybody in the chat, do me a favor. If you have not subscribed to Big Blue in the Bronx, this guy right here, this one, this guy, what was it? This guy right there. He's 20 subs away from 2,000 subscribers, man. His link is right there. Let me highlight it. Let's get this man to 2,000 subs tonight, man. We got 80 something viewers in the chat. Viewers, go subscribe to that link right there, Big Blue in the Bronx on YouTube.com. 20 of the 80 at least, and get that man 2,000 subs tonight. And while you at it, if you
Appreciate
ain't
y'all.
subscribed to mine, yo, you violating. Word up. Flag on the haters. Ninja watching. Okay? Go subscribe.
Appreciate y'all.
Continue.
But yeah, appreciate the hard work, man, and getting up to 2,000 subscribers, bro. That's great.
Two giant goofballs, what's going on? Andrew, if you ain't subscribed to Alex in the Big Blue in the Bronx, go subscribe, man. Don't be a ninja
Well, he's
watcher
subbed
watch
up.
from the shadow realm.
I ain't seen Andrew in a minute too. Hope all is
He
well,
been in the chat.
Drew.
He always in the chat. John Mara would come and boom free. Medium Coke.
Free medium pass. Yeah.
Boom, free medium Coke. 20 away from 2,000 subs, man. Let's get that man 2,000 subs. Have a good night. I have work tomorrow. Let's go. All right, Koof, man. Have a good one, my brother.
Appreciate you, bro.
Just one. NYG says Dane Belton is an X factor this year in camp. Yeah? I'm subscribed to Alex. Like this kid, Pause from the BX too. I'll subscribe. Yeah.
Appreciate you, Vinny.
I'm out, fellas, taking it down. All right, coach. Love and respect.
All right, coach.
Lou put the link
Later,
in
man.
there for him. The link is right there.
Well, I put it in Lou's chat. He's in Pat's chat, so I gotta.
Oh, well,
I'll
you
make
gotta
it
come
accessible.
over here. You know what I'm saying?
Tell him why you mad, son.
Yeah, you know
I'm
what I'm
at-
saying? Y'all need stream hopping and shit, playing musical chairs with the streams and shit. You know what I'm saying? Try that shit on the train, son. Try that. He said Lou put the link in for him. Salute y'all. Peace, GD. Shania. He said sub to Big Blue in the Bronx. Of course I'm subscribed as every Giants in New York area and general fan should.
Appreciate you, Drew.
Beavers may be a hidden gem if he's healthier. I hope he is because I had high aspirations for him. Doing good. Hope we
yeah,
all are.
you looking like another O'Shane Zimenez right now.
Who?
And Lorenzo Carter.
Boogie bashing.
Who's looking like that?
Oceans.
Darren Beavers.
The
Yeah,
linebacker.
he's a mist.
Ellison Smith.
Yeah,
It sucks
I mean,
because he got injured, and that kind
He
of
played for
derailed.
the Bearcats before we got him.
mhm.
Yeah, it
we
sucks.
do
'Cause-
need to go ahead.
No, I was just saying it sucks. He got injured, and then Micah McFadden excelled, and Isaiah Simmons came in, and that was pretty much the end of him.
Facts, but we do need to find that fourth edge rusher. And I'm not saying he has to be a superstar or anything, but I think he just needs to be solid. He has to be better than Boogie Basham. I swear. Oh man, I can't
I
stand
hate.
it.
Oh my god, that was. Dude did
Like,
absolutely nothing. I could be on defense and do absolutely nothing
So
and get
we
the
out
same
on
salary he
Tamon
did.
Fox. We don't believe in him no
I
more.
wanted him to make the roster last year. I know he didn't do
it's
much.
like
but
Tamar
I've
Fox
always
doesn't
been-
get a chance for some reason. I don't
That's
know,
what I'm
man.
saying.
That's
Maybe this
like
new defensive coordinator. I mean, Wink was on some bullshit. The more I get into it, man, like that dude was on something different.
I
here's
mean,
the thing
the
with
the
Wink.
Basham thing was more of a Buffalo connection. Though.
Yeah, Buffalo Connect. Here's the thing with Wink.
Right, but Wink, Timon Fox was better than Boogie Basham. Come on.
I mean, here's the thing with Wink, man. He doesn't run
Alex.
his defense by edge rushers, bro. Like of all his years of coaching defense, he's only had one edge rusher with more than 10 sacks. Well, two. And that was
Mosley.
Thibodeau and a dude Judon. Other than that, his whole philosophy is blitz, 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 and
Mosley.
try to confuse the quarterback.
Are you subscribed to Big Blue in the Bronx, by the way, sir?
Yeah, Mosley been subscribed. Like Mosley been here for over a year.
Yeah.
The super light skinned fella guy right there.
Mosley is a veteran, man. How dare you disrespect Mosley? Put some respect on Mosley's name, man. Come on.
Study, sir.
My biggest, I mean, I happen to like Wink when he came in and stuff, and obviously we went through all the drama and shit. But my biggest thing with Wink was not necessarily I liked his aggressive defense, but the problem is him dropping out pass rushers in coverage, blitzing on screens, which was we saw how that came out, and something they didn't do. And I think it was NYG and Coach Ed were kind of talking about this a couple months ago, how the edge rushers weren't working with defensive linemen, which is now going to happen.
Yeah.
And coach was making a good point. From a coach's standpoint, he was like, edge rushers are not really supposed to work with defensive linemen. But my caveat is that Xavier McKinney was working with linebackers. So how does that work?
It's Wink system. When it's going good, it's great. Like it's like one of the best defenses you'll see when it's going good. But when it's going bad, it's going bad.
It's too
Yeah.
inconsistent.
It's like supreme hit or
Yeah,
miss.
it's an inconsistent defense, and that's what was driving Dable crazy. Cause he's like,
Yeah,
look,
Well,
you
I
know what I'm
mean,
saying? I
all
need my
defense
defense
is
to be
inconsistent
consistent.
if you don't have the players that you need for your scheme. His defense looked so good at the Ravens because he was allotted the time to build his defense. Here,
And
since
he
we
had the
already stunk when
perfect.
he came, he didn't have that long to build his defense. He had to work with what he had, which was a conglomeration of four different coaches' draft picks, which in his defense it's hard to work with for any coach. You got
Yeah.
players from four different draft regimes
I'm a.
for
I'm a.
different reasons and different schemes, and you're trying to make them fit a scheme that a lot of them don't even fit or have the skill set for. So the fact that he was even to pull a bend don't break defense with what he had, I gotta give him some respect for it.
Yeah, I mean,
Look.
yeah, no, listen, and I think sorry to interrupt, but I think there are
Go ahead.
points where he kind of needed to adjust.
Oh
Like
yeah,
in
definitely.
that Dallas game when he was being super aggressive in
Yeah,
the
and getting us
second game where we
burned.
got our asses beat, like you have to know that Tommy
Okay, this is
DeVito
not
is
working.
trash, and you got to go out there and just play Patrick Graham style defense. That way you're in the game a little bit. But now he's coming out here and just still being aggressive. Eh.
I'm gonna make y'all mad. Wink Martindale is the Daniel Jones of defensive coordinators. Look, if you say Daniel Jones has to have everything perfect to be this great quarterback, Wink Martindale needs a perfect pieces to make his defense work. Like he literally does. You know what I'm saying? So I think he does. Now it works, but it doesn't work consistently. And so that's what you're looking for, right? A consistent defense, like we had, with Spags, like we had back in the day with, Bill Parcells and Bill Belichick. That's what you're looking for, consistent defense.
yeah.
You're not
Wink's
looking
deep.
for like this hit or miss
Yeah,
defense.
Wink's defense. I'm not gonna say it is horrible. What Wink's defense is when you come against teams that are veteran teams and know how to beat disguise blitzes, and they have a game plan going into the game to know that hey, Wink is going to bring pressure at, like this in this moment, or Wink is going to bring pressure on third down every time. So let's see if we can get the run game going and getting third and shorts, and he's going to keep blitzing. And we're going to run screens and pick up easy first downs, or if he has a DB such as Darnay Holmes, that's a glaring weak spot, and he's going to continue to put him in a bad situation. We're going to win this game, just like when CeeDee Lamb went off that, like the Cowboys game. CeeDee Lamb kept destroying Darnay Holmes, and he kept putting Darnay Holmes in one-on-one situations with CeeDee Lamb in the slot. Like if you have the roster to pinpoint Wink's weaknesses, you're going to kill him because he's stubborn. He's not going to change what he does, and he's cool with that. He's not going to change his philosophy. And in some instances, that's a very good thing because he's headstrong and he's not going to deviate from what he does just because you make a play or two. But then when the other team's making a play or two or three or four or five or six, he's going to keep doing it. And so that's what happens. You get blown out 41-13 sometimes with a Wink defense because he's not going to change what he does. He's a stubborn mule, and
Okay,
it's worked for him and it's worked against him. So
I'm with you on
Yeah,
that.
no, definitely. Definitely some good points made, but my thing is, and listen, look, I mean, I said I was a big Wink guy until the drama happened and everything. Like, I still see the flaws with Dable being as aggressive as he is, and then Wink just being as stubborn, know it all. Um, but I need, as much as we are hyping the pieces on this defense, I need to see that Shane Bowen's going to know what he's working
Come
with and
on,
how to
man.
work them in. But I also think when the whole Wink thing with Wink went down, here's the thing, and I know I might get some pushback for this. I feel like it's going to sound very reciprocal of what Pat said, but I also get his point. Kayvon got 11 and a half sacks because of Wing's system. Now, again, very reciprocal to what Pat said, but I feel like with the mismatches and he didn't pull stunts, but all these disguises put him in position to get 11 and a half sacks. I still don't think that he's super consistent. And part of that is because Aziz Ojolari would rather be on the sideline than on the field.
Yeah.
But I think, the addition of Brian Burns should help, but you're going to get a lot of situations where it's one-on-one consistently between the tackle and Tibbs rather than just a disguise, this, that, and the other thing. There was a guy who was a popular YouTuber who studies film. His name is Brett Coleman, and he said there was only like 2, 3, 4 sacks that Tibbs had out of the 11 and a half that were consistently on an offensive lineman or something like that. The rest of that. Now, what I will say is this: another thing I didn't like about Wink is he would never, ever, ever do defensive lineman stunts.
Yep. Never ever did him. You want to know why? Because he's stubborn. It's based off the blitz.
That's not what he's known for, really.
Yeah. Now I will say this, guys. Do you guys believe that Dexter Lawrence is capable of running those multiple stunt defensive lineman stunts that Shane Bowen's going to do? Because we're going to do a lot of stunts this year based on his defense. Do you think that takes away from Dex's game? Or how do you guys feel Dex will be at the nose tackle this year? Will he be more dominant, or will you see a Dexter Lawrence that has to fall back a little bit because he has to take on those double teams and those stunts and try to get somebody pushed to the right or the left to get that stunt to come back in with a Thibodeau or Brian Burns? Do you see him being less effective this year or the same old sexy Dex?
Oh, well, I know I've been talking a lot, so I'll let somebody else go in a minute. But
go ahead.
Shane Bowen worked with Jeffrey Simmons, so I'd like to think that he's gonna do a similar schematic play style. What now? I have to think a little bit back to the Titans roster, but first of all, my general philosophy is just get sacks, right? I don't care if Dex takes a little bit of a step back and all the, the casuals out there saying, oh, Pro Bowler my ass. No, if you look on the film, he's doing stuff which opens up Burns, which opens up Thibodeau, whatever, right? But I do think you need somebody outside of Dex in the defensive line room to step up and have a little bit of a repertoire as a pass rusher. I'm not asking for 10 sacks. I'm not even asking for 5, but just to step up a little bit. And I think that guy, I don't think he's going to make the roster, is either Ryder Anderson or maybe DJ Davidson, but I don't think he's got the size for it.
I think Ryder Anderson is that guy.
Exactly. Or that dude we signed from SMU, Elijah Chapman, I think his name is.
Yeah, Elijah Chapman.
If he makes the roster, then I would say, okay, he could have his rotations next to Dex. But I think in a sense that doesn't matter, and it's going to sound hypocritical. It's going to sound reciprocal and hypocritical to my offensive philosophy, but I don't think any of that's going to matter if we don't have a guy consistently next to Dex who could stop the run.
Yeah, that's a fact. I do believe Ryder Anderson can develop into a guy like that, but he's just not getting the chance to develop and get the reps because we got Nacho, we got Davidson, we got Jordan Riley. Yeah, he got hurt.
Yeah, he got hurt.
So he's not getting the opportunity to, show what he can do because his rookie year and that second year, I actually thought that he was going to be right behind Leo on the depth chart, but I guess he's been getting hurt or something. I don't know. It's like one of those guys that that got talent, but he just can't get on the field because of politics and numbers. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Jordan Riley is a draft pick. DJ Davidson is a draft pick.
Jordan Phillips is a Buffalo guy.
Jordan Phillips is a Buffalo guy. He's not beating out Jordan Phillips. and he's just gonna be one of those guys that is gonna be on the practice squad. And he might get picked up by somebody. Hopefully, he can go on and do good things, which I think he can. Just like Tamon Fox, I actually think Tamon Fox should be competing with Ojolari for backup edge snaps.
Oh, yeah.
To be honest with you, but you got guys like Boogie Basham. That's purely
Yeah.
politics. That's
Yeah.
purely politics.
He shouldn't be
Um,
on this team.
yeah, that's
No.
purely politics, bro. And draft status, because I think Basham got picked. It wasn't the second round, second or third
He
round.
got picked second round by Buffalo. We traded him. We traded
Yeah,
for him for like a seventh or something.
yeah, seventh of was it this year or next year? I think
They
it was
were
this year.
bad picks for him. That's why he's playing.
Yeah,
That's why.
so that's politics. You know what I'm saying? So you know that he's not going to get released. So I mean, I think we have some talented guys, but every regime is not perfect. Every regime is going to have their guys that they bring in because they either drafted them or they just
Mhm.
fond of the guy. And sometimes those guys beat out other guys that should be on the team. I really think Tamon Fox can be something if he gets a chance. And it's just not working out that way.
Yeah, go get you some merch. I heard too though.
Appreciate you too though for putting all the links in the chat, man. Thank you, brother. Hope
Put
all is
Alex
well.
in there. He only needs 18 subs. How many?
Make it 15.
15 subs.
But yeah,
Buffalo here.
Yeah, I don't.
Right.
I
That's,
think you
I
guys
don't
are
like when they do that too.
over
You
it.
bring a coach from somewhere else and then he starts trying to bring his leftovers from the other team. Like I can't stand when they do that.
Yeah, you really haven't seen that with Bowen yet, because Wink did with Jihad Ward and all these guys, but I don't think Bowen's brought any of his. To my knowledge, he hasn't brought any of his guys. 'Cause I was
they
expecting
brought
him.
in a DB for a workout, but yeah, I don't think Shane Bowens had a chance to do that. Like nobody from Tennessee has been free agents or anything. So
Yeah,
But I
I was
think
expecting like a guy like Tiger Tart, but go ahead, Wedgie.
no, I think pass rush by committee is what the Giants are always because again, it goes back to the team effort thing. We talked about with the running backs. Now it's the same
Absolutely, Vinny.
concept. It's the same concept with the pass rushes as well. So I know you guys are worrying about like who's gonna start next to Dex, but again, they have multiple people there as options. So you can do one or two things. You can go out and chase the position, or you can just say, look, whoever has the hot hand, so to speak, that's who we're gonna roll with this week, or for the next couple weeks or whatever. Depending on who is performing at the particular time, until you can get a feel on who is developing and who's going to be a keeper or not. I'm just particularly talking about the younger guys, because Phillips is just a stopgap, so to speak. So I don't. And again, they're gonna have different alignments. Like, would you guys could you guys foresee like somebody like a Boogie Basham or Aziz Ojolari rotating in at DT on pass rushing downs, kind
yeah,
of like a
most definitely.
NASCAR package.
I
So
think
then,
it would be Ojolari, bro. He can play that tart role. Um,
yeah, yeah, like Justin Tuck used to play. I know what you're talking about. So that's kind of why I'm like not too worried about it. Um, but yeah, you don't want to tire out your superstar, but I mean Dex is versatile, and I don't worry about Dexter Lawrence. He's a smart player. Remember, he adjusted coming into the NFL playing out of position, so it's not like he can't do it. Do you want to play him out of position? No, of course not.
Shit
But
pissed me off.
he can do it if necessary. So it's
who
you
was
know
played out of
he's a
position?
great player,
Dex.
Dexter Lawrence.
Yeah, I never understood that those Joe Judge years, man. They had him playing edge and all
Defensive end.
stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Like that was crazy. I was like, And that actually had me thinking, like, man, Dex ain't gonna make it. And then when they put him at nose tackle, turned into a freaking all pro because that's where he
Who
was
knew?
supposed to be from the
Right.
get go.
And that's the
So
thing I be harping on about the offensive line. Like, put these guys at
yeah, put these guys
spots.
where they need to be,
Well,
man.
You know what I'm saying?
Drew says Giants ironically brought in former Titan DB Joshua Kalu for a workout yesterday.
Yeah, another
That's what I
Joe
said there
Judge.
earlier.
Yeah. Yeah, another former Joe Judge bring in, but he tore his ACL with the Giants 3 years ago. So
I, I'm trying to figure out too, Vinny G, how we gonna use Isaiah Simmons. I think
I don't think
Isaiah
he gets
Simmons,
picked.
man. I think he just needs to put on some weight and go straight to edge, man.
It's gonna be a pass rusher. I think that's how they're gonna use him.
You can't use him as a pass rusher. He's too light in the ass.
Oh,
Pause. You only 200 and what 30 pounds max.
You think they're not going to play him at
You can
safety?
you can pass rush him
I
from
can't trust
a
him at safety
safety
because
or linebacker.
you can't cover.
You
I
can
mean
cover.
he could cover space, but that's about it when it comes to actual coverage.
Yeah, you can't
No,
cover.
Well, if it's his own defense, it benefits him a little bit more. But what does that say?
right? You're showing your hand. They know that it's gonna be a zone defense because this dude really can't guard man to man.
You know, and they
So
need to be in the right spot,
I
right every man
I
like they
let him
do at
rush. I let
McDonald's.
him rush the
Or he's a
quarterback.
spy.
That's what I do. Or spy. But I would just put him out there to rush the quarterback. And there ain't nothing wrong with that. And if he needs to drop in coverage, you can drop him in coverage. So you can disguise your defense. Because you ain't going to know if he's going to
They
rush
cover
or
the running
drop.
back or something.
Yeah. He's useful. Trust me. A smart defensive coordinator will figure out a way to use Isaiah Simmons.
238. That's how much he weighs right now.
see what I'm saying? Like you know,
Ojulari,
Oh shit, he put on 10 pounds. He'd be damn near 250. He good. He could rush the passer.
Ojulari weighs 240. Surprisingly,
he probably slimmed down.
I mean, you ain't
yeah,
got to put
he's
him in a
pounded
3-point
muscle.
stance and have him rush the passer.
I'll
You know
just
what I'm
have him.
saying?
Yeah, I guess have him at edge. You let him use that speed. I guess.
Yeah. That's what you do.
Well,
You don't want him on the line, going head up with a tackle or guard. Just have him come up with the speed, from the
That's where the
linebacker
stunts come in.
position, or yeah, even a stunt. Exactly. That's cool
no,
too.
no.
No.
Nah.
LT is better than them. Banks is better. Carson is better than our middle
Yeah,
linebacker.
there's no
Only
LT.
one. Yeah.
That's you can't get past LT.
Right.
Yeah.
Simmons is backup that plays okay at various places, but not great anywhere. It's been long enough for us to accept what he is. A bum.
Yeah, I remember,
Oh, sorry.
I remember Miz saying that when we signed him that he's not like good at a specific spot.
Well, I wasn't planning on going too long. I need to go take me some ibuprofen and soak this foot and relax for a little bit because my shit is throbbing. So until Saturday night, when Deontay Wilder has his last fight, I believe. I believe it's his last fight.
Me
Uh,
too.
and
It's his last
we'll
fight
be,
for real.
yeah, I think so. Deontay Wilder Saturday night on Leather to the Face, and then Sunday night we'll be back here on G Nation Inside Sports to talk some more Giants and give you guys some more insight as to what this team is going to look like before Hard Knocks gets their hands on them. Jesus Christ, I'm so worried about what that's going to look like. Um, but
Nah, I
guys,
think
tell
it's gonna be
everybody where they
cool.
can find you at, where they can go subscribe to you, where to look for you on your next show, your next post, and we'll wrap it up and get up out of here. You heard?
Yeah, catch me on Sundays, man. Giants conversations. Um, got some trivia cooking up. You know what I'm saying? But catch me on Heart of the City, 8:30 Tuesday nights. Took a week off, but we'll be back next week. And catch me on Twitter, NYG22, trolling the anti Daniel Jones fans. But
Brooklyn, yeah.
Outside of that, man, always rocking with the big blue crew, man. Pause, but
I had to
that's
make
what
you
we
feel
out.
like you was at home for a second. You know, Brooklyn.
Yeah. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah. But y'all got it, man.
Well, you know, you can catch me on Big Pass Sports Talk right here. New York Giants full access. You know, I'm giving you all the good Giants content here. Been slacking a little bit in the videos, but it really ain't been too much to really talk about. We're gonna get into the hard knocks. I'm actually intrigued to see exactly what they do on this hard knocks, but can't wait for training camp to get ramped up, and then we're gonna get that first game of the season against the Vikings, and hopefully Daniel Jones and the Giants can bring out a victory. And I just want to see a good offensive line this year. And what I mean by good, I just want to see an NFL offensive line this year. I'm so sick of the offensive line being so trash to where it's just a clown show every time the offensive line goes out there. So hopefully Evan Neal progresses, because you will see him begin the season whether you like it or not. And hopefully light skinned Jermaine and Runyon and John Michael Schmitz help out Andrew Thomas out there, and let's put
I
up some
just
points and let's see what
that
this team can do.
that damn Hard Knocks is gonna expose a lot of the dysfunction in the Giants organization. That's what I'm worried about. But go ahead, Alex. Tell them where they can find you at, where they can subscribe. Yeah.
Yeah, like 15 subs away from 2K, so definitely hit the sub button on Big Blue in the Bronx. They're kind of been slacking a little bit, I could say, but I'm going to have record prediction video out soon. No, I don't want to force content about OTAs because
Right.
we really can't learn anything until they put the pads on. That's just the way I see it. But yeah, we're doing a lot of good things over there. So, 15 or so subs away, and I'll throw it back up to Lou.
You heard 15 subs, son. Stop being ninja watchers, man. Go subscribe to Big Blue in the Bronx. You know what I mean? Go subscribe to Big Pat. Unpopular Opinion Sports NYG 22. Coach Ed. Wales to New Jersey. Luca's Knicks Cast. Don't be ninja watchers. Go subscribe to Luca. You know what I mean? Big Blue Crew doing a lot of things for you guys, man. Classified 3F with Joe. Can't forget Joe. He out there going 15 rounds trying to bounce back. And man, we'll catch you guys Saturday for Leather to the Face. I believe somebody else is doing something tomorrow. I think Man Cave. Man Cave is going live tomorrow, so we'll probably catch some of us over there with him. But until next time, man, y'all know what it is, man.
Peace.
Ain't no chat, no like, it's just action. All my just front like they tapping. You already know. Poppin'. Ain't no stopping me now, steady rockin'. Watch them hate on me now, cause I'm locked in. Watch the hate on me now, cause I'm poppin'. I ain't stopping.